me to start?
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
So I don't know everybody. I think I kind of introduced myself mostly when we got here. These two have been into our office before last week, so we kind of met them. But my name is Sarah Bartine, and this is Emilie Reha. We work with Integrity Settlement Services. We're kind of like your listing closers for when you have a listing that sells. You've all got some paperwork in front of you. So it kind of just goes over like what we are able to do for you guys. We also, so we also TC, which we don't normally do for Weichert agents, but it's always an option that just comes out of your pocket. The listing closer part actually goes on the seller figures, and so your client is responsible for that portion of the cost. But the fees are billed to the agent through QuickBooks after closings, usually every 2 weeks. I suppose I should have just went with this one, shouldn't I?
Yeah, that TC sheet we're just providing to you in case you guys are ever interested in it. We have probably, last count, like 40 some agents that use us for a TC service. We have agents from all of the brokerages. And the reason that I have never gotten licensed is because then I can't work with all of the brokerages. I've taken all the classes for the agency, so I know like what all your rules and regulations and stuff are and what we can do and can't do. But that TC service is available to you if you ever want it. That is on your own though. Like that's a separate fee. We do a QuickBooks invoice so that you can have that for all of your tax prep and stuff. It's a really quick way to print it off and have it available for you for that.
Let's talk more about that after you go
the
through
listing closer stuff.
Yeah, so the listing closer side is something that Weichert contracted with us to do for all of their agents regardless, and your seller pays that fee again. So that's nothing that you guys are charged for, and we do all the same things for you that we would for anybody else on that side. Okay, so Sarah will go through kind of like what we do with that, how we do it, what we need from you, that kind of thing.
Okay, so this is what we do. I don't. Did you print
front and back?
Did you print double-sided?
Yes,
Okay.
they should be double-sided.
Okay. So on the slide 2 at the very top, it says what we do. We do listing closer paperwork. So if you guys have paperwork that you know you're going to be meeting with a client and you just don't have time to input everything, you can actually email us with the information and we can actually get your paperwork ready. Right? No. Sorry. It's Monday.
Listing closer paperwork is just once you've sold it and it's ready to close, we take it and run with it from there.
There you go. Thank you.
Yes.
We do cash closings. We also do lender finance closings. So if you have a buyer, our office will work with you guys on that and the lender. We do assist with quick claim deeds. We also do FSBO. So if you run into a FSBO, that's typically my baby. So I run with all the FSBOs that usually
loves
come.
that too. So
Yeah,
bring her all
sometimes, just not Chris Foster's.
It's been known to have some difficult.
Yeah, they're always fun.
Oh my god,
they're always fun. We've had like we've had a mobile home.
Yes.
We've had some foreclosures.
Yeah, that was interesting. And we also do refinance closings.
Not right now.
You're not going to see anything right now. Next slide is slide 3.
Yeah. 1 second. Maybe you're going to talk about these, but a couple things that I wanted to highlight is every one of our listings is lock stock, goes to these ladies. All right, they handle it. On the flip side, okay, if you have a cash buyer or something, this is where you would. Which one of you is the contact for that? What's the best process if they have someone that isn't one of our listings that they want to get to you?
Mm-hmm.
What's the best way to work?
Typically, they email both of us, don't
Yeah.
they? Or, I mean, like Larry will only email me. I don't think you would ever have seen an email from Larry ever. And then, like, on the flip side, Chris, I've never seen an email from Chris ever. So either one of us, but primarily both of us, just that way we can tag team. We just kind of take turns flipping through the email. But I think I might have in there, did I put in there? It's been a while since we've gone through this one. How we get to the cash closings. I think we have it in there. But Tina, so this family-owned business, Tina is my mom, okay? And it's me, I'm the oldest of the 3 kids. And then my youngest brother, Max, is actually kind of the listing closer for Weichert. So Sarah and I get everything ready and ship it off to him. My mom does all the cash closings. But we coordinate getting it to her just to make sure that it's there. We keep it on calendar, keep track of it, all that kind of stuff. So either sending it to Sarah or I, either one of us will get it where it needs to go. If you only put one of us on, it's no big deal. But if you can put both of us on, we get to it usually a little bit quicker.
So I think we did it wrong.
And that's fine. And I'm really glad that she took care of it for you, because she is an old lady and like I'm picking on her a little bit. But no, she will get it for you, but I'm glad she caught it and like figured out what it was. So that she knew, because I think things get lost in there sometimes, because she's also doing all the lender finance closings. She's doing all the business stuff too. So sending it to us, we at least can get it, make sure everything's ready for her. We put it on the calendar. We usually set a reminder to make sure that like check in on the file, make sure nothing's missing. Just keep everybody on their toes a little bit. So it's totally fine if you send it to her, you just forget or whatever. And if you don't hear anything, just follow up with us.
There's an email I would suggest CCing both of these ladies, even if you're sending it to Tina.
Yep.
CC both of these ladies on all communication. Okay.
Yep. We just kind of run the agent side. She started her business in the legal department at Hubble Realty Company. All of her business has been doing the lender finance closings and things like that. So the agent stuff, like your paperwork, what you guys need, is a little bit foreign to her sometimes. And so just sending it to us, we know what you guys need to get to the people it needs to go to. So, yeah.
So the next slide is my listing sold now what? So first thing after, and within about 1 to 2 days, you will want to make sure that you add both Emily and I to your dot loop. And when you add us to a dot loop, you physically have to add us as a team member. So if you don't know how to do that, just shoot us an email and we'll help you figure it out. But it's super simple. You just click on the 3 dots after you've added us to a team. You just says add to team. That way we can see all of the documents. Otherwise, if you just add us, we don't see anything. So then we'll have to, I think they're on
somewhere. We also, if you don't add us as a team member, we don't get a notification of the loop. So we have no idea it's out there unless you add us. A lot of the agents now are trained very well to just add us as soon as they get a listing. And then they just shoot me an email and say, hey, this is sold. I already have everything I need. And then I know it's out there. But
it's actually on the TC document. Okay. It's on that last page there. And then also after you do that, make sure you send us an email letting us know that you added us, in case you added us but we didn't see it or it didn't come through or something like that. And then just maybe give us a heads up on how your sellers are, like what their personality is, like if there's some sort of issue or Amber, like you said, you have a probate, something like that. If it's anything a little wonky, give us a heads up. That way we kind of have a better idea of what we're getting ourselves into. Make sure all the important documents are in the loop, the fully signed purchase agreement, pre-approval. I don't know if you guys fill out a sales worksheet, but that's always super helpful if you have it filled out. The mortgage authorization, everybody should have a blank copy of ours. Make sure you have your client fill that out and sign it. Listing agreement and the abstract location. That should be one of the things that you guys are figuring out first. That way, if you can't find it, then we are on the hunt for it. Like we will try to track it down for you guys. If we can't track it down, then we need to get a new one started. And that can take about 4 weeks. So just an FYI. Any questions about any of that?
The listing agreement is important for us so we know commission.
Yes.
And if you ever change commission or you had a separate agreement or you decided to pay something because of negotiations or whatever, you just have to let us know so that we can mark it and make sure that Max is aware too, so it gets put on the closing statement correctly.
That sales worksheet is a great spot to keep updated and add that stuff in.
Yes.
Right. So like the reason they ask for commission on the sales worksheet, the reason they ask for the home warranty is when it's time to close everything, they know everything going on, right? Yep. Any other financial piece that may need to be documented at the end, we'll throw it on that sales worksheet. We have a commentary piece or comments in the sales worksheet. Great place to give a little basically commentary. Same thing what Sarah just said here, right? If you're starting a deal and you have something out of the boundaries that they need to know, commentate it. Same thing in that sales worksheet. If you accepted an offer and there's 2 or 3 things that we need to make these ladies aware of, put it in that sales worksheet, make sure it's available to them. One question for you ladies, does it work better just to throw gobs in there and then you section it out, or is it what is the best thing for them? Leave the file as is or create a new file with finished ones? What do you like to see when they're basically going through and making sure all the documents are in a loop?
If we're being completely honest, again, we work with like 50 agents. And I was just telling Sarah this morning, I got up this morning, I had 87 emails in my one email. I managed 3 emails. So the more organized you are, the better I help you, and everybody doesn't seem chaotic, right? Mm-hmm. Your representation also comes off from me, but if I have no idea what you're doing and your loop is a complete mess and I'm trying to dig through and figure out which document you actually were using, we all look kind of foolish, right? So the more organized you can be for us helps us. We will usually ask, but we've had agents before they have gotten 3 offers and all 3 purchase agreements are in the loop. I have no idea which purchase agreement you negotiated. Wasn't with you. I don't know. So clearing out the junk and then just leaving in there the final pieces helps. But if you need to email it to us and just say, hey, can you separate these final documents? We can definitely do that.
Yeah, that's
I can show you an example. You guys want to
yes. Talk about that. Yes, and you will see in your loop once we get into it, you will have your listing documents in there. We typically will put like the purchase documents in like a set, you know how it makes folders. And then you'll see a closing folder. So we'll put like our abstract order in there and your termite inspection in there so that the closing piece is separate from all your listing documents. Okay, that helps these guys too when it comes to audit time. You can pull docs super quick. So
timeline of events on listings sold from your closer's perspective. So this just kind of gives you an idea of what we're doing in the background after everything's been sold, right? So within a week or so, we like to get the abstract ordered. I like to do that as soon as possible just because I know abstract companies usually take longer than, that's usually the longest part of the process. So that actually comes from the lender to the closer. So if you guys get an email from the lender, it says, hey, this is abstract order. Can you get this ordered for us? And you're like, I don't even know what this is. Pass it on to us. Anytime you get an email from like a lender or something like that, just forward it on to us. That way we know what's going on. But that will usually come within a week after the purchase agreement has been sent over to the lender. The abstract update is usually placed the same day as the order is received. And typically it'll be myself, Emily, or Max that will be ordering the abstract. We send the order to the abstract company, and then we let them know where the abstract needs to go after it's been updated, which is usually an attorney's office to do the title opinion. Updated abstract is sent to a title attorney within 10 to 15 days of the order.
Just a side note, we have seen like 28 days right now on closing dates.
Yeah.
That is really fast right now. The abstract companies are backed up. Title attorneys are backed up a little bit. So if you have room in those few days and nobody wants to be stressed out, give yourself just a few more extra days when you're negotiating those. I think everything's been 28 to maybe 30 days and everything is coming in the week of closing right now. So it's 28 is pushing it, just as an FYI.
Sometimes it's fine, but right now it's like every single deal that's been coming in has been like 28 to 30
really
days.
Quick.
I'm like, oh my gosh. Termite inspection ordered. That's usually done at the same day the abstract's been ordered, and that is something that we do as well. You guys just need to let us know what termite company that you prefer to use. Okay. Termite inspection scheduled.
What's your default on that?
We have a list. Who do we use for Weichert? Springer
or Perfection?
Perfection?
I think I've been using Perfection for you. I think a lot of people have been using Springer. I just feel like Perfection is just a little bit less expensive. And I think they do just as a good job.
So we've been using Perfection for all the I have to look at our list. We have a list of each brokerage is different, but and if you don't have a preference, then that's fine. We'll just go with what we've been using too. Yeah. Some brokerages have contracts.
Would that be good on the sales worksheet or just in the separate?
Sales worksheet would be nice. Yep. Yeah.
If you have a preference on termite company, which I don't care who does it. I just
termites scheduled within a week of being ordered. Usually Springer or Perfection will set this up in showing time. I usually just tell them to set it up in showing time. That way they don't have, and sometimes they will email back and say, does this day and date so work? And I'm like, yes, that's fine, but just go ahead and schedule it through showing time. Let's see, title attorney sends out title commitment. Usually that's a few days after getting the abstract. And sometimes, once again, sometimes this is only sent to the agent. So just forward it on to us if you happen to get a title commitment in your email from a lender. or from an attorney or the closing company like Wasker or something like that. They'll usually send it to the agents. Most of the time they know to send it to us, but not every time. So if you get a title commitment, make sure you forward that to us as soon as possible. Listing closer clears title. Usually that's done within a day or two of getting the commitment. Emily, Max, and I will look at the title and make sure that there's no judgments, no liens. If there's a mortgage, we'll need obviously the mortgage information. If there's a second mortgage that they didn't know about, we'll let you guys know. That way they are aware. We usually don't communicate too much with the seller unless I will ask, do you want me to communicate with the seller, or do you guys want to handle this on your own? Same thing, like if termite report comes back and there's treatment needed, I definitely will say, hey, this needs treated. You might want to talk to your sellers and figure out if they're going to go through with it, and then we usually have to get something signed by the termite company.
So please watch your emails and then respond to those quickly. Like every day is time, obviously, in that regard. So let us know, because if there is like a treatment that needs done, we have to get the form signed, we have to get them back out there, we have to get a new report, all that kind of stuff. So just kind of watch your emails for that stuff if you know you're coming up on closing.
Really quick, as an agent, they're going to order the termite inspection, but that inspector is going to schedule it how you put on your listing. I always schedule it with showing time, right? You can also specify in there phone call. There's a couple different areas, right? So when that inspector wants to get in for a termite inspection,